Welcome back to my channel. So today, you guys, I wanted to sit and let's have a chat about fear. You might be thinking, that's interesting, Michelle, but let's just have a little chat. So being fearless doesn't mean eliminating fear. Being fearless means knowing how to leverage fear. And to do that, you need to know a few things about what you're dealing with. So number one, fear is healthy. Okay, don't ever let anybody tell you it isn't. Feeling fear is neither abnormal nor a sign of weakness. The capacity to be afraid is part of normal brain function. In fact, a lack of fear may be a sign of serious brain damage because we all fear something. I live every day with the fear of God. This is why I try to do what I'm supposed to do. And so fear it's a healthy thing because fear will keep us from doing things that we should not be doing. It'll keep us from going places we shouldn't go. It'll keep us from dealing with people that we shouldn't deal with. Number two, fear comes in many shades. So horrifying events can leave a permanent mark on your brain circuitry, which may require professional help. However, chronic stress, the low intensity variety of fear expressed as free-floating anxiety, constant worry, and daily insecurity can quietly but seriously harm your physical and mental health over time. So just know that fear comes in many shades. There's no one thing. Number three, fear is not as automatic as you think. So fear is part instinct, part learned, part taught. Some fears are instinctive. Pain, for example, causes fear instinctively because of its implications for survival. Other fears are learned. We learn to be afraid of certain people, places, or situations because of negative associations and past experiences. A near drowning incident, for example, may cause fear each time you get close to a body of water. Other fears are taught. Cultural norms often dictate whether something should be feared or not. Think, for example, about how certain social groups are feared and persecuted because of a societally created impression that they are dangerous. And I'm going to leave that one right there. You figure that one out. Number four, you don't need to be in danger to be scared. Fear is also part imagined, and so it can arise in the absence of something scary. In fact, because our brains are so efficient, we begin to fear a range of stimuli that are not scary, which is conditioned fear, or even present, that are not scary or present. So we get scared because of what we imagine could happen. Some neuroscience claim that humans are the most fearful creatures on the planet because of our ability to learn to think and create fear in our minds. But this low-grade, objectiveless fear can turn into chronic anxiety about nothing specific and become debilitating. So how many times have you feared something that didn't actually happen, mind you? Didn't happen at all, but in your mind you built up this fear and you were so worried about it, and then it never even happened. So it was all in your mind. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you can be afraid. Now, you're not in danger of anything, but you're afraid, and that fear brings on anxiety, and that's just too stressful. So I try to live my life in such a way that I'm not walking around in fear. Number five, the more scared you feel, the scarier things will seem. Your fear response is amplified if you're already in a state of fear. When you are primed for fear, even harmless events seem scary. If you're watching a documentary about venomous spiders, a tickle on your neck caused by, say, a loose thread on your sweater will startle you and make you jump out of your seat in terror. If you're afraid of flying, even the slightest turbulence will push your blood pressure through the roof of the plane. And the more worried you are about your job security, the more you will sweat it when your boss calls you in for even an uneventful meeting. So, the more scared you feel, the scarier things will seem. Y'all, I told y'all I have a fear of being in the basement when no one is home. Don't judge me. I just do. I do have a fear of the dark. Always have. Now, when I'm in the bed sleeping at night, I need complete dark. I don't want no lights peeking anywhere. I don't need a TV on, none of that. But I don't like being in the dark. I never have. And that is a fear. And I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know where that comes from. But it's a fear that I have. And I will probably always have it. And, it is what it is. Number 6. Fear dictates the actions that you take. Actions motivated by fear fall into 4 types. You have freeze, fight, flight, or fright. Say that 3 times fast. Freeze means that you stop what you're doing and focus on the fearful stimulus to decide what to do next. I.e., you read a memo that your company will be laying off people. Next, you choose either fight or flight. You decide whether to deal with the threat directly, meaning tell your boss why you shouldn't be laid off, or you work around it, start looking for another job. When the fear is overwhelming, you experience fright. You neither fight nor you flee. In fact, you do nothing. Well, you obsess about the layoffs, the Okay, I'm sorry. You obsess about the layoffs, you complain, but you take no action. And we all know a lot of people like that, right? Being continuously in fright mode can lead to hopelessness and depression. So please keep that in mind. And number 7, the more real the threat, the more heroic your actions. We react differently to real and imagined threats. Imagined threats cause paralysis. Being scared about all the bad things that may or may not happen in the future makes you worry a lot but take little action. You are stuck in a state of fear, overwhelmed but not knowing what to do. Real threats, on the other hand, cause frenzy. When the threat is imminent and identifiable, you can jump to action immediately and without flinching. This is why people are much more likely to change their eating habits after a serious health scare. Isn't that the truth? Now, you do nothing about your eating habits, your lack of exercise, but as soon as you have a health scare, bam, you're right on it. You're on top of it. You're doing everything that you need to do. So this is why people are much more likely to change their eating habits after serious health scare, i.e. a heart attack, than after just reading statistics about the effect of a bad diet the effect that a bad diet has on your body based on fried food. So if you want to mobilize your troops, you have to put yourself in danger. And that is so true. We can read about heart health all we want to, but until you have that scare, chances are you're not going to act upon it. So let me do a quick recap, and I promise I will let you be. So today I said we're going to talk about fear, because fear is both real and perceived. A lot of it, though, is in the mind, but most of it's just it's real. Fear is real. You have a fear of not being able to pay your bills. You have a fear of not seeing young people grow up. We have a fear that things in this country can turn for the worst. You see what I'm saying? So there is some validity in our fears. So we talked about things that you need to be the things that you deal with and how to deal with them. So we talked about, one, that fear is healthy. It is absolutely healthy. Don't you let anybody tell you any different, because if fear wasn't healthy, we'd be doing a whole lot of things we have no business doing. Number 2, fear comes in many shades. Number 3, fear is not as automatic as you think. Number 4, you don't need to be in danger to be scared. Okay. Number 5, the more scared you feel, the scarier things will seem. Number 6, fear dictates the actions that you take. And number 7, the more real the threat, the more heroic your actions. That's just like, when I thought about that, I think about how when a car accident happens and people run and help out where normally they probably wouldn't, you know what I mean? But that fear has kicked in and has them moving to go see if they can try to be helpful. So fear is real. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not real, you guys. Fear is real. How you deal with it is a whole nother story. Some things you should be fearful of, okay? Some things you really do need to be fearful of, but not in a sense that it will keep you from being the best you possible, that it will keep you from being able to function. Because some people have experienced fears and they have a hard time trying to function. And it's really sad, but it's just something that some people deal with. So that's all I have for you guys. Love you to the moon and back. You know I do. Now, thank you so much to my newest subscribers. Thank you so much to those that continue to support me in all that I do. Again, I love you guys to the moon and back. And always remember, if there's a topic that you want me to talk about, please reach out to me and let me know. My email address is michelleismakingithappen@gmail.com. I will leave that in the description box. You can go to my website, and there's a contact tab, I believe it is. You can reach out to me there. Again, I'll leave that in the description box, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Until then, take care.